Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. So today I'd like to share with you why is modeling a critical solution for effective Qigong meditations and internal art mastering. Well, it is important to have models, which I'm going to go into detail with you. Is that because Qigong meditations and internal art is much more complex than just a philosophy or belief or get spiritual or name dropping of certain guru or monk or grandmaster. It is much, much more complex. And thus, a technology approach is a good way to get an effective learning and mastering of Qigong meditations and internal art. Otherwise, it is really a mess because if one result, one cannot just wishing or hoping or guessing or try and error. One simply cannot do that, especially in today's modern era, where people have to work and everybody is busy. Now, if you look at the ancient, be it from the Shaolin, from the Buddha Dharma, on the Samadhi, the Taoist, or the healing with Qigong, they all are really details. And they have processes, all kinds of stuff. Now, in the past, the teaching is not that efficient because you get only one teacher to teach one student. And whether one teacher will be able to teach everything to the student, it is a problem because what if the teacher oops? And also, if you say that, one teacher teaching, say, a monastery or a temple of students, what is the effective or efficiency of the educations? Look at 1,000 people who study with a top monk. How many of them actually be able to know the basic? That's the questions if you look into the history. And it is known that in the ancient Chinese culture that many of the things in Qigong or martial art or the meditations, some of the details is left off because the ancient people thought that this is simple. It's just like when we're in a math class. The professor say, it is obvious from this step to go to this step. Well, the issue is today, we no longer live like in the ancient. So it is problematic if we say, let's go practice anapanasati of the Buddhism, but we don't even know how to sit. Like you want to sit in the cross leg and all details. So that's why we need to model the entire thing so that everybody be able to know it and be able to have a good foundations. Now, when you talk about model, you have the big picture models, the details, the process steps, state, sequence, verifications, and pitfall. When we want to study Qigong or meditations or healing art or internal art, we need those. We need to see the big picture, the details, so we can handle it, the process steps, and then the states we're going to get into it. Either it is the physiological state or mental state, and then the sequence, how one step has to go before the other steps, and then verification. How can you know, if you really get it or not? And also the pitfall. So it's not up for guessing, okay? And this is real stuff. So if one read all this ancient writing or the scripture or the books from the past generations, You can find all this. Now the question is this. How many of us read ancient classic Chinese? How many of us really be like professional who know all this thing? Okay? Well, it is not just a title anymore. It's just like how many of us really being professional? Okay? It is a big question there. So that's why, if you look at what I'm doing in this channel, which is I say this has to be educational channel, or my goal to be is for education, is this. You see, this is human. Whenever we want to deal with Qigong, meditations, internal art, you need a model to model this human. And that's why I make the model, the 4-layer model, where you have physical, mind, breathing, and energy neural, or Qi. You have to get into the human, know what is going on here. It is simply just cannot, hey, just mimic me. Standing there, that's called standing meditation. Well, sir, how are you going to handle the physical? How are you going to handle the mind? How are you going to handle the breathing? How are you going to handle the energy neural system? How? Without knowing this, you say, why, just standing there. According to some friends, you standing there, you will heal all your sickness or disease. Or you could get enlightenment. Do you believe that? How can one believe that when, there's so many things here? That's why I make a 4-layer models, very simple. Everybody look at that and say, hey, so it's like consumer. When you want to buy a smartphone, you ask for what is the RAM, what is the CPU. Well, that's education, so everybody know what's going on. So without going through this, it is really hopeless, okay? Because we don't want to be guessed and redesign wheel and try and error. Well, you never get there anyway, okay? So this is the basic 4-layer models, which I created. Now, the mind layer model, this is a disaster. Because how to access or evoke awareness, attention, imagination, or thinking function, how to evoke that. If one have no idea on this, it is trouble. Because people can keep talking about awareness. One is keeping using thinking to think what is awareness. Say, for example, in the Six Patriarch Sutra, or the Zen Sutra, it is talking about awareness, but people are talking about thinking. Everything is thinking. It's like philosophy. Well, if the mind layer of the human, one have no idea of how this function can be evoked, how to use them, how to select them, how can you meditate? What are you doing? You say, well, counting my breath. Okay, so what it is? Okay, what do you want to achieve? Now, so again, your thinking, your imagination, you can get into all kinds of run-on, drift, and scattering. If we do not know what it is, we don't know how to deal with it. We cannot just put people on the sitting in meditations and you hear everybody say, oh, it's very difficult to shut down my thinking. I cannot do meditation. Blah blah blah. Well, simple stuff, because one don't understand this. If one understands this, with a really minimum teaching, coaching, in 1 hour, one will be able to know this and handle it. One will never say again, it's very difficult to turn off my thinking without knowing this thing, okay? So I really question how effective is all this meditation today. Everybody talking about meditations, mindfulness, or using this some kinds of high-tech gadget like the smartphone to meditate. There's a question there. If one have no idea how to handle one's own mind, how effective is that mimicking something? So it's like, can a parrot learn to think like a human? there's many things under that. So there's an issue there. And then if you say, well, we can do an experiment in university research and then we get result. So how is those get those results? Be scientific is you have to be able to do repeatable quality repetitions. How is that possible when we don't know the parameters? If we are scientists, talk about parameters. How many parameters, how many variable independent variables we are handling? And all these are variables. This is all variables or parameters. Unless we know this, how the world are we going to do anything about it? Okay. Now, the same with as this in the breathing states. So the breathing is another parameters, another layers of human. So if one never get into this natural resonant breathing state, one can keeping, these days people sometimes using some kinds of tablet apps to say, well, we want to get into the resonance, play with the heart variability, and so forth, so forth, so forth. But you know what? Everybody is different. And the issue, really serious issue of playing those things to handle the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system is that if the physical and mind is not put into the rest condition, how is it to brute force the natural resonance? The brute force the so-called the resonant frequency, like 5 breathing per minute will help. Or the guy might have a sickness or illness or something at the body, all kind of stuff, because one need to deal with this physical and mind before can go into the breathing. So if one jump right away to the breathing and get into this neural nervous system and ignoring the physical and mind, how reliable is that? How reliable can that be? Okay. So you need to have this model. So this is models. This is models. You need to have the models, know what's going on. And I'm sure after I go through this video with you guys, you know all this thing. We say, well, why don't people tell me this before? Well, all this is in the ancient stuff, okay? Now, so this is about Qi, okay? People like to talk about Qi. This is the directions of the flow of the Qi, the proper directions of the flow of Qi. If one against those things, playing intention, leading Qi or energy, one is looking for trouble. And then, of course, there's many, many things there, okay? And also, one need to know. You want to meditate, you want to have healing art, you want to have internal art, you need to know its proportion to your calmness. How deep your calmness develop, justify how can you handle your body and mind, your calmness. So, what is the calmness meditations? How to do it? If one have no idea on that, how can one get here? Also, we need to know that calmness is directly proportion, one-to-one proportion to the awareness. So it's like a coin with the two faces of the coin. However, with us, the ordinary human beings, we need to start with calmness first, so that the awareness can settle down, and then in the advanced level, this both go hand and go together like the two wings of a bird. Okay, so samatha and vipassana, in Buddhist word, they go flying like a bird with the two wings, or the concentrations and the insight. Okay, or the stability and the wisdom, they go hand on hands. Okay. So all this need to be models and simple, not philosophy. Often we we heard or we read about books and meditations that the people keeping talking about, this Buddhist thing, this Buddha's teaching is about this and that, great philosophy and all kinds of speculation, but it never tell you what is going on, because we can read 10,000 books on all those. People will talk about Zen, and then talk about the Zen master talk about this, and the other Zen master talk about that, and enlightenment is this, and enlightenment is that, and at the end, it's all speculation. Never ever touch into, hey man, I want to be enlightened. Tell me how to do it. Instead of knowing all about the Zen master this and Zen master that and enlightenment, and then the more you talk about it, the more we thinking we enlightenment too. That's crazy, okay? But in the Buddha Dharma, it's not like Srangama, Yogacara Bhumi, it's not. You just go right away into this kind of stuff, okay? So we need the models, okay? Models is very, because we have like a technology today that we can produce, say, 1 million smartphone, okay, in 6 months, or how many millions. That is very reliable way of communications, of transferring knowledge, okay. Instead of sitting down there and keeping reading, this book talk about this way, that book talk about that way, and then this monk talk about this way. Who cares, okay? Because I can read all those and I still don't know what the heck is going on, okay? So you need models. You need to know, where are you doing? Where are we here? Are we doing calmness meditations? You know, and when people these days is very funny. People talk about awareness. You know, awareness. And then sometimes they call it mindfulness and all this kind of thing. And sometimes they say, advertisement is mindfulness in sex. You know, people are out of their mind. You know what is awareness? Awareness is that you're not trapped into your desire. So I can define here, even if Buddha is here, I can define for you. Mindfulness, meaning not get trapped in desire, okay, or any type of mindset. That's mindfulness. When you say you want to be mindful in your having sex, you know what? That means you cannot have sex. Serious. Because when you are aware, like the Buddha aware, you are not trapped into your desire, how the world you're going to continue on to have sex? So it's just like you're watching a movie, right? I tell everybody that this is what I call the Silicon Valley mindfulness test, okay? You buy a ticket, you go to the cinema. You just check yourself. 10 minutes later, are you within the movie? If you are within the movie, that means you're never mindful. You are not mindful anymore. Because you get trapped in the movie. So, you know, in a fun way, you can get the most mindful gurus, grandmaster, or Zen monk. You get into the movie, and you look at him after 15 minutes. You see if he's in the movie or not. If he's in the movie, all bets off, because he doesn't know mindfulness. He doesn't have awareness cultivated. A real Zen monk is living within awareness. A Buddha is a full aware person. Every detail is aware. Thus, they never get trapped in the movie, because when they feel a sensation in their body, they know that sensation, they're aware of it, and that sensation will dissolve away. That's how it works, okay? Now, if we watch a movie and that sensation get into us, and we just following that sensation, then no longer mindfulness there. That is already confused. So the funny part today is how the world there is a mindfulness sexual this thing. You can, okay, or love making. You cannot be mindfulness in love making. You want to be trapped. If you really mindful or aware with romance, then you don't have romance. Why? Because didn't Buddha tell you that there's illusion? It is this illusion. Everything is impermanent. When you're aware, everything is impermanent. When you are mindful, you see everything is impermanent. So how the world are you going to have all these things? You know, so there's all kind of funny thing today. Okay, just people put mindfulness, all kinds of things. So if we really want to study this, we need the model to exactly know what is going on. Now, the same thing is as what I mentioned the other day. The entire Buddha's cultivation, meditations, or the internal art, you'll be able to use the as model to see where we are. Okay, this is how basic. This gives the directions. If we cannot answer the question within here, we have a problem. If we don't know where we are here, we have a problem. Okay, so this is a model to help. Now, again, for the chakra, the energy, you know, there is a link there. So we know what is going on. And for the martial art people, more than that 4-layer models, which is the physical, mind, breathing, and the chi or energy neural, there are 2 more components, which is the strength or force flow. Force flow meaning playing with the action and reaction force, like Newtonian physics, okay, not magic, okay? And then momentum, how to use the momentum. This is the 5 ways how to use momentum. This is all models. And then you have the 13 state, the physical, you have the open state, link state, light state, mind element, you have the quiet state, settled state, peaceful state. You have to go to, one need to be settled before can be quiet and before be peaceful. And breathing, one need to know is a noisy breathing or panting breathing or chest breathing or natural breathing. Well, like people who practice anapanasati, the guy who can get into samadhi, the guy had to start with the natural breathing. If the breathing is noisy, one will have trouble to sit properly. If it is panting, one is really struggling over there. Chest breathing is not deep enough. So if with this 3 breathing, the teacher right away need to tell the student, okay, you are in this this breathing state, this breathing state, this breathing state. Now I need you to do this, so that I get you to the natural breathing state, so you can practice anapanasati. So in the ancient, the teacher knows this. Okay, this is written in the Chinese Buddhist training document. Okay, 1,500 years ago, 小止观. Okay, so it is in here. So it is there. Okay, but today we don't raise this, and we miss out this. And how the hell are you going to count your breathing? If you have a noisy, coarse breathing, which where like you can hear the how you breathe, the sound, you're not going to get there. Your body is not going to settle down. Same thing as panting. You have difficult breathing, so you need to relax your or handle your physical and mind layer before you can go back to the breathing. Okay, so anybody in that state of panting and coughing, you need to handle this before you can get that. So that get back to the same thing with the people today using all these electronic gadgets or popular meditation. How the world are you going to get anything if you don't even know this kind of stuff? Okay, so of course, like in the chi element, energy element, you have states: ready state, surface state, intention state. You have all those kind of stuff. You need to know all those. Those are just basic. Otherwise, it won't work. Now, for the martial art people, you have the 6 core element here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 6. Okay, then it can categorize in the different stuff. So if we don't know this, what are we doing? Okay. So you know what are you say internal development. What do you develop? What do you develop? This is internal development and all kind of stuff, right? So we need to have this model because this is a different era. We need to play smart. Okay, we need to be effective and efficient. And of course, like the momentum type, in the same with the martial art or the meditations or Qigong internal art. You have the momentum type, you have the mechanics, you have the physiological state, and then you have to be able to measure it, monitor it. Well, this is the measuring of how one can handle one's heart rate via breathing. Okay? So it can handle the heart rate up and down, up and down. You know, if I'm going to tell you that I know Qigong or meditations or internal art, I better be able to do this. Okay? And see, this is real time. This is a real time deal. And in the Western medicines, we know that this is a biomarker. The Chinese also take your pulse when you go to see the doctor. So you need this thing for verifications. Otherwise, it's like, hey, you know what? I can call myself His Holiness Hendrik, or I am the Grandmaster. Think about any bizarre name. Okay, you can call me that. But it doesn't matter. The reality is that can one have this? Okay, one have the model, verification, and so forth. Because, okay, over here, as we see that you need a verifications. Okay, and speaking of the pitfall, let me tell you one thing which is really, really, really crazy. You often go to YouTube and you see people half naked, okay, bare with the bare, what do you call it? The body is want to show their six pack or anything, standing beside beach, and then have this beautiful scenery of the oceans in the beach and so forth, and then they play Qigong there. You know, those are the serious pitfalls, serious trouble. Anybody in meditations, Qigong, and internal art, if you do that, if you really have the Qigong, okay, the wind get into your body will get through where? Your neck area and penetrate right away into your spine and so forth. And that is big trouble. Okay? So when somebody say that, well, they have Qigong, they have internal art, they have Qi, they have meditation, they do it under that in the beautiful scenery, and you can see wind there, you know he doesn't know anything. Why? If he really have the Qigong, that wind is going to penetrate his neck and his spine. Okay, and it's really difficult to get out. If you watch those monks who really into meditate, the real veteran, you see how they wrap their what do you call it, their neck area. They keep the area wrapped up, their head area wrapped up, their knees wrapped up. It's not standing like a model, the models and trying to show you something like his body, like those kind of stuff. So this all need to be known, okay? And telling you this is because we like it or not, it is an AI, artificial intelligence era already. So this is possible with the models and I show you meditation process modeling or Qigong modeling or internal art development modeling. It is possible. We can model it now up to a pretty good dominant level. Okay? And we can put the machine learning of AI where it be able, after you train it for the first time, it be able to adjust by taking data. Okay? So as what I showed you guys before, this is the meditation's biomarker, like the heart rate profile, breathing, and brainwave, and so forth. This is the artificial intelligence, the model, the rules, and all kinds of machine learning stuff. And then it be able to actually provide solutions and be able to adjust, to tailor, to do all kinds of things to train the meditator. So someday somebody might get all the rules and models, what the Buddha teaching, just put into the AI and let the AI train the person. Okay? Why is that possible? Yes. Well, so it is possible, at least to the minimum way from here to get into here. Okay, no kidding. Today we can do it already. Okay, because I have enough model to do that. And there none exist in the market yet, but we have the technology. I have the technology to do that. Okay. So the reason why I show you guys this is because, man, this is an artificial intelligent world. We cannot still living in the cave. Okay, and the Buddha is not living in the cave. So we need to know what is the heck is going on. Okay, so that's why we need model. We need to clearly know what we are talking about. And that's why, I'm going with the technological approach. Because we're going to use, like it or not, robots will live among us in the next 50 years probably. So robots were going to help us to train us because it is too expensive for a guru, a grandmaster, to teach us. So why don't you just get the the robots to train us? Say your whatever the system, the AI system you use at home, use it to train you. Okay. So it is there. Okay, and the AI will be able to train a person to meditate, to Qigong, better than an untrained, not professional teacher. Okay? And but this is not going to get away the job from the teacher. Why? Because there are many things which is artificial intelligence cannot do. Like, remember we talked about the awareness. The awareness. Humans have this awareness, intuitive stuff. While artificial intelligence have to follow rules. Okay? So you still need good, solid teacher. However, for the basic stuff, artificial intelligence can give the beginner a good education, and then the advanced stuff, you get the teacher to teach them. Okay? It makes much more sense this way. Okay? And the teacher will never get out of the job. The consumer or the student will always get good quality teaching. Okay, so there's the notion, and that's why I have this free channel here. Is aimed for that, because maybe 50 years later people say, oh yeah, Hendrik started that at that time. Yeah, I need to start this. Okay, design chips and design this is not that different. Okay, it's all design, you model it in design. So this is free channel, and if somebody don't want to do homework and getting lazy, well, I do the homework for you here, to list up all those basic stuff. So you can get my book to do it. If you have all the time and you're really into it, you don't even have to get this book. You just go to my video and study, take note, and so forth. Okay, it's so simple. So bottom line is, yes, I'm studying a technological approach that you fuse the ancient technology with our Western technology, the ancient Asian technology to the Western technology. Okay, the ancient Eastern technology to the Western technology. You put them together, and that's what I'm doing now. Well, even if Buddha is here today, he needs to learn how to use a smartphone too. Okay, so we live in a different world, a different era already. So that's why we need all these things. So hopefully you get something out from what I share with you today. Okay, if you're interested in this, interested to build your APPs or anything, message me. Okay, and I want to make this as educations, and I open this ideas all to you. Is we want just, not everything we want to sell just for money. Okay, because people deserve to learn, to know.